In my past life, my childhood sweetheart dug up my body and brought it home to keep by her side. That was when I found out she had quietly been in love with me her entire life. And now that I had been given a second chance, I decided I was going to go to her and fall into her arms myself. But at that moment, Yoon Yan had just heard that I was getting engaged, and the bride wasn't her. She didn't make a scene or lose her temper. She just called up a few friends and went to the beach to set off fireworks all night long. Nobody knew that was a promise we had made to each other since we were kids. Right in the middle of all the excitement, the phone I had tossed aside suddenly started ringing. The moment I heard that familiar voice, my chest tightened. My eyes stung with tears. Yoon Yeon, I'm getting engaged tomorrow. But before I could finish, she cut me off with that cool tone of hers. Who hasn't heard about the great Mr. Moo tying the knot? I'm well aware, but as for attending, I'll have to pass. I have other plans tomorrow, so I'll go ahead and wish you congratulations on your engagement. And may you two break up very soon. She was cursing him out in her head the whole time. Watching the man she loved get engaged to someone else right in front of her, it was absolutely killing her. Congratulations, my foot. I'm not going through with the engagement to Ji Kongliang tomorrow. Hearing those words, Yoon Yeon could barely believe her own ears. I gripped my phone tight and asked, will you come? If you show up, I'll marry you. Yoon Yeon let out a soft laugh. You're about to get engaged and you're still messing with me. Fine then. I'll be there tomorrow. I hope you're a man of your word. Whatever his reason was for setting up this engagement, once it was official, she wasn't going to give him a single chance to back out. He could only ever be her Mr. Moo. Besides, just the thought of him marrying someone else made her heart feel like it was being torn apart. Yoon Yeon hung up, but a smile crept up the corners of her lips without her even realizing it. Tomorrow, she would be getting engaged to him. This was going to be the happiest day of her entire life. The next morning, the Moo household was in full swing. Auntie Jung came knocking on my door first thing. Young master, time to get up. We still need to get you into the suit and do your styling. I opened the door and stepped out. The moment I saw the engagement suit, my face fell. Barbie pink covered in tacky rhinestones. It was an absolute disaster. If this were just about calling off the engagement with Ji Kongliang, I wouldn't care. But this was now my engagement party with Yoon Yeon. This was the first time I'd be seeing her in this new life. Of course I wanted to make a good impression. Auntie Jung, do I have another suit I can use? She shook her head. Young master, all your suits are in the walk-in closet. Is something wrong? None of them work for you, I nodded. I absolutely refused to wear that pink monstrosity. I couldn't believe how clueless I had been in my past life. I had actually believed Ito Makoto's nonsense and dressed like that to impress Ji Kongliang. He had kept telling me that Ji Kongliang loved me in pink, said I looked especially good in it. What a joke that suit was. If you don't like it, just switch. My darling grandson. Whatever style you want, I'll find it. Go bring every new suit from the Moo collection for the young master to choose from right now. I turned around and there was Grandma. I immediately wrapped my arm around hers. Grandma, you're the best. You and Grandpa are the people I love most in this world. I hung off her arm acting like a big baby, but deep down I was worried about one thing. When the engagement ceremony came and I pulled a switcheroo on the bride, would it give Grandma a heart attack and make her furious? But now wasn't the right time to tell her if we just called off the engagement outright. Then I'd never get the chance to expose Ji Kongliang and Ito Makoto for who they really were. Alright. Once you're engaged, you're an adult. Stop pouting like a child. That's what Grandma said. But her hand was already gently patting my head, her eyes full of warmth. Grandma, if I suddenly decided I didn't want to go through with the engagement, would you be really upset with me, Wayne? What's this about? Did that G girl do something to you? No, if you genuinely don't want to get engaged. Your grandpa and I have spent our whole lives looking out for you. It's just that we're getting older now, and we just want to see you settle down. But if that's not what you want, Grandma will go talk to your grandpa right now and we'll call the whole thing off. I quickly shook my head, forcing a smile. No, she treats me pretty well, she does. So well that she's been sneaking around with my own cousin behind my back just then. Ito Makoto came out of his room with a smile on his face. Congratulations, cousin. Today you get to be officially engaged to Kongliang. She's been so good to you. You're going to have such a happy life. Ito Makoto had this sweet, harmless smile plastered on. At first glance, anyone would think he was just a clean-cut, innocent kid. And in my past life, that face had completely fooled me. It wasn't until the moment they pushed me off that rooftop together that I finally saw what was hiding beneath that gentle, well-behaved exterior. A heart full of poison. Can't stand looking at my cousin. I dropped that line and dragged Grandma straight toward the walk-in closet. I couldn't be bothered to deal with him, seeing me completely ignore him. Ito Makoto clenched his fists, quietly calculating how once he got his hands on the Moo family shares, he'd see just how long I could keep acting this way. Meanwhile, the engagement ceremony preparations were slowly moving along. When a sudden knock at the door snapped me out of my thoughts, I waved the stylists off, signaling them to pause, and pulled open the door. Ji Kongliang walked right in, and when her eyes landed on me sitting in the styling chair, she froze. I looked especially sharp today. Way better than usual. The suit was no longer some bizarre color, but a clean, crisp white, perfectly highlighting my broad shoulders and trim frame. Ji Kongliang's lips curled slightly, a flicker of surprise crossing her eyes. You look really good today, she thought to herself. If he dressed like this every day, marrying him might not be such a bad deal after all. At least he'd be worth looking at. I looked back at her with a cold smirk. Oh yeah, so tell me, am I the better looking one? Or is my cousin more your type? Ji Kongliang reached over trying to take my hand, but I yanked it away. I stared at her with open contempt. Of course you're the one. In my heart, you'll always be the most handsome. Ji Kongliang bit back her disgust. Just thinking about the way I used to dress and how I'd follow her around like a puppy made her skin crawl, but she had to admit, I actually looked incredible today. I let out a quiet laugh. Glad to hear it. Now head back out. My stylist isn't done yet once Ji Kongliang left. She slowly started to realize something felt off about me today. I used to be so warm and eager around her, but just now when she tried to hold my hand, I had actually pulled away. But she quickly found a reason to explain it away. Decided I must be acting jealous, and walked off feeling pretty pleased with herself. At exactly 11 in the morning, the engagement ceremony officially began. Every seat in the Mu family banquet hall was filled. Everyone who was anyone in the city had shown up. The guests looked at the pair on stage, beautiful and polished, and nodded with approval. Sure, the Ji family wasn't quite on the Mu family's level, but this Ji girl had clearly earned the Mu heir's attention. That was no small thing. But as the time was almost up, Yunyan An still hadn't arrived. Had she changed her mind? My heart was starting to race. If Yunyan An didn't show up, I would still call off this engagement, but nothing would be as explosive. As the Mu heir catching his fiancée cheating with his own cousin and swapping brides on the spot. Meanwhile, Ito Makoto was eyeing my suit from the crowd. Puzzled as to why I wasn't wearing that hideous pink suit, his little plan to humiliate me in public had clearly fallen apart. Just then, the MC's voice rang out, and now the couple will exchange rings. Hearing